So I'm in good company, I hope?
Well, I think I've done this a couple of times now, but we'll find our way through. We had a lovely time at the Louisa Ryder Cup together, didn't we?
We did indeed.
A fabulous time, and hopefully we will take you through a fabulous time here today. So we are here to decide the Tier 1 winners. So we're doing a round robin. All three teams will play each other. So Liverpool Rollerbirds are going up against Manchester Checkerbroads right now. That is what we are 2 minutes away from. And then all three teams will play each other. London, Battersea Power are in the mix as well. So that is who is about to come on track today. Let's tell you about those teams.
Right, starting off with Liverpool. They will be sported in yellow. You can probably see them in the top corner of your screen right now. Kicking off with 105, Ruckus, their captain. 1-1, Hogarth. 1-5, Elwand. 2-1, Milo. 2-1-99, K-Trix. 2-2, Metal Alchemist. 2-7, Daria Dynamite. 2-8-9, Corey Mame. 4-1-1, Palmer. 4-9, Fox. 5-0-3, Lambert. 5-2, Booth. 7-6-4, Tids. 9-4-7, Basher Bloodaxe. And 9-9-3, Kate Rolo.
So they are going up against Manchester Roller Derby Checkerbroads, and they're playing in green today, and their team is 0-3 Mayday, 1-1-8 Fatality, 1-3 Minx, number 17 Frankintent, 1963 Nippy Hendren, 1977 Rebel Scum, number 3 Price, number 48 Smack Mamba, number 481 Roxy Toxin, the captain today, number 619 Holly, number 704 Hazard, and number 75 Cara Chase. They are your Manchester Checkerbroads today. So we are about 30 seconds away from getting this Tier 1 WFTDA aligned game underway. And as I said, all three teams will play each other to decide Tier 1 this year.
True, it's a bit of a mouthful when you announce it like that, isn't it? Really?
It is a little bit. But we've got to give it a bit of gravitas here today. Haven't we, here at the British Championships? And this is to decide the number 1 team in the UK right now.
It's just
in British Championships.
It's just unreal. Like, the level of play I've already seen in the other games we've had today has been exceptional. You have to say that, though, because everyone has just knocked out the park to get here.
Absolutely, and then they have brought it here in the sunshine in Stoke. But we are ready for Liverpool Rollerbirds versus Manchester Checkerbroads, and we are underway right now. So there it is, first whistle, and we've got 481 Roxy Toxin is out there for the Manchester Checkerbroads, going up against Ruckus for Liverpool.
All right, well, we've already got a lead given to, I believe that's, yes, Liverpool. Straight in, smashing through the pack there, and out. I barely blinked and missed it.
Ruckus getting through quickly. So a initial 4 points put up by Liverpool, and we've got the Star Stash.
Yes.
Star Stash there by Roxy Toxin to complete the initial and force the call off. So Liverpool taking first blood and putting 8 points on the board. And I'll be honest with you, looking at their route to this game right here, Liverpool top Tier 1 North with 4 wins from 4, so they are a force to be reckoned with. They finished Tier 1 North with a 677 points difference. Positive points difference.
That's like an entire season's worth of points.
Let me just tell you that Manchester came in second in that tier with 178 points difference. So we can see that Manchester are probably going to be a little bit up against it. In fact, the only game they've lost so far this season is against Liverpool. And Liverpool are out in front, and that is Daria Dynamite, who is your lead jammer of reckoning.
Yeah, this is a very good second chance opportunity then for Manchester with them up against Liverpool this afternoon.
Absolutely, they will be looking to pay Liverpool back for that one defeat in the tier. So we're just seeing how the points shake out, and it is 2 points picked up there at the end by Liverpool, so they are off to a 10-0 start.
Not a great first 2 gems for Manchester, but they're probably just shaking off the cobwebs, getting over, like you said, Liverpool just 4 for 4. You're going into this, doesn't matter how tactical you play, it's going to be a mindset you've got to get past of, okay, these are the people to beat. Right.
Absolutely, that is exactly the kind of mindset that could be out there, but it's a real scrum start, and as we see Liverpool taking back, that's number 48. Let me see, that's Smack Mamba. Smack Mamba being recycled yet again, so great work from Liverpool here. And we see stretching out up front. Fox goes through and claims the 3rd lead in a row for Liverpool.
Curious to see if they'll play fast jams like they have with the first 2. Getting slowed down a little bit now with Manchester's front line of defence.
That was an excellent set of blocking there. That's Fatality doing some lovely one-on-one business. And that is something I'm noticing here with the Checkerbroads. Not a lot of unity in the walls there. They're very, very individual at the moment, very spread out.
Yeah, it's very tag-teamy. A lot of trust there, because you could really split a pack if you've not got that mental communication to know where everything's at.
Absolutely. So getting on through and picking up the 4 points goes Fox. Still in the pack and yet to complete the initial is Smack Mamba. Stashing the star at the moment, just in case you were thinking, what's going on here? Have we had a star pass? It does look like that, given that everybody is on the pivot right now.
I think that's the great play, though, is when you start to stash, you're like sending mixed signals, like, okay, yeah, logically you probably want to pass, but are you gonna? And I've seen enough play today where people like completely bluff it, and then in that confusion they get out. You know, the teams start to say, are we concentrating on the jammer? Are we concentrating on the pivot? Where's our focus going to be? What's their play?
Just splitting that concentration, even for a second, can result in a lovely gap. Oh, looking for the straightaway jump there. But number 48, Smack Mamba, now playing blocker, able to force Fox back to between turns 3 and 4.
I was about to say, they almost turned into one of our officials there, the way they entered that inside straight.
And all the action happening down between turns 3 and 4 right now.
Now, if I understand it right, I think we've actually, well, jam comes to an end. I think we had a cheeky star pass right at the end there. I think I saw the pivot armed with the jammer cover, but Liverpool locking it down. It's the exact play you want to do. I mean, that was a 20-point jam for Liverpool.
Was huge. So Liverpool, 3 jams in, averaging 10 points a jam. That's the kind of maths I can do.
My only apprehension is, like, if you don't pace yourself, you're not going to have a second half, because you'll just score all the points in the first and tire yourself out.
Well, we say that, but the fitness of a roller derby athlete these days is off the charts. You guys are out there cross-training 2-3 times a week. But in the meantime, number 481, Roxy Tuxon, the captain, has out and claimed the first lead for Manchester in this game. So, lovely silky skills through the inside there.
So worried that line hadn't been crossed just right. That'd have been a really bad start to their first lead for Manchester, but they got through.
They did, but they didn't. I don't think they held Liverpool scoreless. No, Liverpool able to pick up 3 points in there, but Manchester opened their account here at the British Champs playoffs, and they have put 4 in the bank.
It's an interesting early deposit. Let's see if it earns any interest from over the course of this afternoon.
Let's hope nobody needs a bailout, that's for sure. All right, Thomas Cook, how are you?
Oh, too soon.
Too soon. Well, yeah, if you're not on holiday anyway.
Well, you see, this stream can be picked up anywhere, so who knows? But
we were too busy making quips as up the inside went Hazard, who just picks up lead very quickly. So the first 3 went to Liverpool. Oh, and an excellent apex jump. I may have to move the microphone away from my mouth if we're going to continue with excellent, exciting jamming like that.
It was a great start, but not quite the perfect finish there as they bailed out on the corner of turn 4.
And right now we've got the pivot in the box for Manchester, so they are down a blocker, and of course their jammer doesn't have the option of a star pass.
I think Manchester also has their jammer sat in the box as well, so this is giving Liverpool an opportunity for a power jam play now.
And Corey May is out there and looking to capitalise 4 already.
You can already see the way pivot was holding back their slow pace. Like, we know we've got control. We can let Manchester tire themselves out in that scrum of people. And they're already stretching the pack out, giving so little room for Manchester to play any form of defence at the front there.
And we are really starting to see why Liverpool have taken Tier 1 North. 4 wins from 4. Really turning it on here in these opening 5 jams. 45 points already put up.
I was about to say, it was not only like their jammers being so confident and so speedy, but there's also been great sort of tactical play on the straightaway there. I mean, that pack hasn't moved for the lion's share of this jam from directly in front of the pivot, the penalty box.
Absolutely.
It's really slow play down. Liverpool have the speed they want this jam to be at.
Hazard has done well in this jam, though, picking up 4 points already, coming in on a second scoring pass. Number 15, L1 there, just giving them a bit of a hard time, but through they go.
Great little challenge there from Palmer, but I didn't quite have the angle as Hazard slipped through.
And that jam coming to an end. We'll just see about those final points. It does look like a full pass is picked up by Liverpool, so that takes their total to 16 in that jam. 8 picked up though by Manchester.
I think there must be like some sort of little like bench bet going on of like, how many can you do? Oh, I've done 20. Can you do 20? Oh, I've done 16. It's like,
to be fair, I don't think I've seen a jam much higher than 24, 26 points this season. It seems to be a lot tougher to put up those huge scoring jams. I'm not sure, maybe a 32 at some point, but it's a tough life as a jammer at the moment, because these blockers are really locking down, and we've seen a lot of that so far this weekend. If you've been watching, there has been some beautiful blocking on display. True,
I mean, as much as it's obvious that you've got a jammer whizzing round, leaping apexes, toe stopping, spinnerooning and stuff like that, that's only half the equation.
It is, because if you have not seen the blocker apex jumps, sometimes, just going in the opposite direction of play, avoiding, 5 or 6 other people in the pack at times, that is another level of skill.
I've seen some beautiful plays where like there'll be one blocker who's just utterly on it on defense, has caused all this hassle at the back of a pack in some games, and then jammer thinks they got through, and then the last line of defense is that blocker from the back who's magically teleported themselves somehow through for the front because they trust all of their ability to just get through, and just utterly like harassing the opposing jammer.
Most
and it must be so demoralising to think, I've done it, I've got through, oh, they're there again, how have you got in front of me from behind me?
And those reforming packs have definitely been a theme this weekend, as we see Ruckus out and picking up lead by the entrance of turn 1. And a great turn of pace as Ruckus is already coming around, as you can see, flashing back around on your screen on a scoring pass. Oh, round the outside, picks a beautiful line, dances on the toe stops for 4 points.
Smack Mamba, they just managed to physically squeeze herself out of the actual Liverpool pack. Oh, I'm going to let that go.
There we are. Do we need to say any more? 8 points bagged and tagged by Liverpool there.
I'm unsure of the other games we've had this weekend. If you are playing roller derby bingo, that's your centre square. There you go.
It is done for you. So
having the benefit of a really good view angle and stuff for once in a game, and having that effectively directly in front of us. It was so lovely.
People ask why I announced. It's because I want free entry and a great view of an apex jump and some of the big hits as well. If you're interested, get in touch with your local league, and you too can do some of the talky. But in the meantime, Daria Dynamite versus Roxy Toxin.
Daria there. Now it's Daria's turn to unfortunately be stuck in a wall of opposing bodies.
But Roxy Toxin picks up lead.
It's a stash now for Liverpool. The stash worked as confusion because now Daria's out.
Oh, and look, Liverpool 3 in the box.
Not good.
Take a ticket, we've got a queuing system, but no, actually they do vacate one right at the end. So Manchester are going to have the pack advantage as we open up the next jam.
Ooh, some confusion. I've just seen another skater be returned to track. So it appears to be the 1 now in the penalty box.
It's just better safe than sorry. Everybody went to the box, just in case it was them.
But as long as the skaters are waiting until they're instructed by the penalty officials, that's the right way to do.
Exactly what we like to see. So Fox is back on the line for Liverpool, going up against Hazard. And Hazard, great success, speedy pickup of lead there for Manchester.
Barely got a chance to announce whom was playing for Manchester and they get themselves lead. Chase is on though, Fox coming around at lightning speed. Great check there to slow down Hazard's pace. Any points for all of that trouble?
One sneaky point for Liverpool.
And unfortunately Manchester getting completely closed down in that jam. Yes, you can call it off from anywhere, but if you've not passed anybody, you're not going to bank anything, so...
And you really want to get that in before that jammer gets their hips around anybody else.
Admittedly, great awareness from Hazard there, realising that, yeah, you got in first, you probably clocked where Liverpool's jammer is. It's not worth the risk to try to get back up and reset.
Absolutely not. So we see Liverpool setting up at the front here, just trying to crowd Manchester on that jam line, but they are all over number 48, Roxy Toxin. Oh, sorry, Smack Mamba. But out in front, it's 7-6-4, and that is Tids, who is out jamming for the first time for Liverpool right now.
Manchester's managed to grab themselves a a straggling Liverpool skater.
Oh, big hits on the outside there.
A bit of reversal of fortune now. It's Liverpool with a skater knocked to the outside. And just with that additional reversal of fortune, it's Manchester who get the cheeky points in this jam and deny Liverpool any further progression on their score.
So we are just setting ourselves up for the next jam. I have to say, Liverpool blockers, I had a little look at their British champ stats, and in terms of most blocker points, Liverpool blockers occupy 7 of the top 10 places out there. So if you're wondering why the blocking is going quite so well for them, they've had a bit of practice. They know what they're up to.
That's a very good track record to have. And again, there's that, you must obviously ask yourself, there's that element of like almost like mental awareness of like trying not to let that get to yourself as Manchester.
You could, but then of course they occupy the top 5. They occupy 5 of the top 10 spot places for blocker points difference as well. So just to drive that point home a little bit, the quality of the Liverpool blockers. That's not to say that Manchester don't have some quality of their own. Price, for example, number 4 in the stats for most points, number 8 for points difference. Mayday makes an appearance at number 8. For Manchester. Fatality is number 5 and Frank Intense is number 6 for points difference. So Manchester bringing some quality of their own as well.
Yeah, convenient official timeout now ending just as you provided all those wonderful stats for our viewers at home. So,
didn't even know.
Yes,
that.
Invisible almost, if I hadn't obviously blatantly pointed out.
So we are off a little bit of a run up for Corey Mame. Roxy Toxin though finds the space.
Likewise, Corey now gets her chance. Edge on the outside, great gap given. But then with any jammer, you could give them the tiniest sliver of a space and they'll take it.
So, Roxy Toxin being recycled as Corey Mame hits the pack up at the top and has to do battle with a tripod at the entrance of turn 1.
Now we lose Liverpool's pivot to the box.
Great defensive work from Manchester Checkerbroads right now. Despite losing a blocker to the box, they are doing incredibly well at containing Corey Mame here. Roxy Toxin slides down.
I think I saw a cheeky smile there, regardless.
It's always smiles if you manage to stay in bounds, even if you haven't fallen over. So up front, and this tripod, which has now become a 2-wall.
And now at 1 wall.
At 1 wall. Manchester bleeding blockers, my word. In fact, yep, all 3 of them. There's now 1 Checkerbroad on track. Oh, that's a lonely place to be.
As long as they're aware that inadvertently, I believe that Mayday is effectively the pack weight now as the only Manchester blocker on track.
And very simple offense, just screening a lane for Corey Mame to go through.
We've got Nip and Hedry now back on, so that sort of definition of pack weight is a little easier for our referees.
K-Drix heading to the box for Liverpool Rollerbirds.
So, certainly our penalty box staff have been kept very busy these first few jams.
Absolutely they are, and penalties could become the story of the game, though they are spread out very nicely amongst the players on the teams at the moment. Only a player on each team has 2 at the moment, so we're spreading it out nicely. Sharing is caring.
It's bizarre, but I suppose you're all right. You would not want everyone to have one of them, you know. So.
We want to share that around a little bit. So it is going to be a pack advantage for Manchester in this jam.
Got Hazard for Manchester, buddied up with, I can't read for looking. It's Ruckus, the captain for Liverpool, just as we go into this next jam.
Just having an official timeout while we check our paperwork. So we chatted a little bit about the blockers before, but let me tell you about the jammers. So Liverpool's jammers, Ruckus and Daria Dynamite, number 1 and 2 in the top 10. Tids and Fox coming in at number 6 and 8. That is for most points. Ruckus and Daria Dynamite coming in at number 4 and number 9 for most leads. So even though they're not placing at the top for leads, they are for points. So even when they're not lead, they're still racking up the points, which is a handy skill.
Well, again, I think that only... I would always say that the strength of a jammer in that moment to keep a cool head is fantastic, but then to not have lead and either your teammates getting that lead jammer, the real lead jammer in that jam out of play, so you have track dominance and trust in them is also a sort of a great thing for any team to have.
And Hazard is back out and his lead once more. So
this is the sort of, I think, the mindset that Manchester want. They may be behind in points, but we're getting those leads. We're curating these opportunities for ourselves to get points, some points. Even if it's some and they get none, that's the best slow play you can have.
Absolutely. That was number 11, Hogarth, there with a huge hit on Hazard to the inside. And that's given Liverpool time to set up their tripod just by the pivot line.
Ruckus there just doing their best to sort of slide their way through Manchester's free wall at the front. Yes, some great assistance from their pivot, but they were not afraid to just get involved.
Absolutely not. So we're just having a little cheeky look, and it looks like 2 points picked up by Manchester.
Oh, I believe that sped up a little bit.
We've got 4 points picked up by the Checkerbroads in that jam, and 1 for Liverpool. Takes our scores to 29 to Manchester, 74 to Liverpool. 15 minutes of the first half to go. Oh, it's cosy on that jam line.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've only been spoilt with 1 pivot line start today, which was very surreal.
They never mean those pivot line starts. So Daria Dynamite out there right now, jamming for Liverpool, pushing hard and fast. But it is Smack Mamba who found a lovely line through the pack and gets out. And Checkerbroads doing a really good job of slowing down the exit of Daria there.
But admittedly, Daria just was that little bit faster, found those gaps and spaces where Manchester was wanting to be, but like a lot of, shall we say, short of stature, but high on speed.
Absolutely. And the lap speed of Daria is fantastic. I just want to make a personal shout out to whoever did the rebranding for Liverpool Rollerbirds, because my word, it's a sexy logo. It's a sexy uniform, and I love it. He loves it, he does.
From an officiating point of view, that is a good contrast. Neat black font on a yellow jersey is very easy to spot.
It's a delight, but do you know what else is a delight? Roxy Toxin with that footwork up the inside. That was a delight if you're a Checkerbroads fan at home, because half a lap at least ahead of Fox now, as we see Liverpool losing a blocker to the box.
I think that's Kate Rolo that unfortunately is getting a 30-second respite.
That was a huge kind of hop step through there from Fox, who thankfully landed in the back of their own player, which is fine. You can attack your own players, but there we go. Great blocking coming in from Fatality there with a huge recycle.
That's a complete rewind. I think
it is.
We're playing Derby in reverse now.
I just looked at the technical man and he assured me he is not pressed backwards, ladies and gentlemen. This is just the end of the jam. They head towards their benches, so Liverpool picking up 4 there, shutting Manchester out. Oh no, they didn't. Manchester picked up 4 there. I got too keen. I'm always like that. Too keen about my points. So we're all just taking a breath in this lovely 30 seconds between jams. Big breath.
We've got Tids for Liverpool up against Smack Mamba. I think I'm starting to sense the jammer lineup rotation.
And the matchups they're looking for here. But look at this scrum start. Oh, and there's a whip off the back there. I've seen a few whips today. Mansfield putting those into great use. But looking at the inside, great footwork and track awareness. So Manchester picking up the lead again.
Tids there sort of very much almost taking out their own teammate. But obviously the jammer has a line to maintain and you're in the way. So,
as we've mentioned before, you'd find to sacrifice your own.
As much as it's said, friendly fire is unfortunately something you cannot be penalised for in this sport. It's never pleasant.
Well, you're not penalised on track, but I'm pretty sure they're going to get you on the bus on the way home.
Well, that's not within the rules of the game, so we'll allow any team to
what goes on your team bus stays on your team bus, hopefully. So Liverpool are just pulling away now from Manchester, and this is very much a story that the stats tell, which is that Liverpool don't even need to have lead in order to put points up, to get ahead.
It's exactly what you were illustrating earlier.
Yeah,
their jammers almost are stronger when they don't have lead.
It's an interesting phenomenon, but it's a pleasure to see Liverpool here playing, because I don't get to see Liverpool nearly enough, and they are almost a little bit legendary to me. I know of them, I know of their exploits, but seeing them here live at British Champs is an absolute pleasure right now. And we are taking a team timeout.
Now, curious to see, can't quite work out who has taken it. I think it's been called by Liverpool by the looks of it. Oh no, wait, is that flashing icon indicating it's the Checkerboards?
It would appear that it would be the Checkerbroads just by the fact that they have gone to their bench. And that's usually how I decide who has taken a time out. So.
Now, I'm excited by this on the basis of a previous game I was announcing today. It was Nottingham versus Hallam. Hallam had a strong lead early on. Nottingham took a team timeout. They came out of that 1 minute break as if like a new rejuvenated team. And it was really exciting as we ended that first half, went into the second half. It was like really curious to know like what magic was said in that team timeout. Like,
did everybody have a Coke?
I don't know. It was like oranges. I don't know if they ate their Weetabixes or what was said, what pact was made, but it worked because they came out like renewed.
And sometimes that's what it is. You can interrupt the momentum of the opposition. You can stop yourself from free falling or spiraling if you're in penalty trouble, or just a great opportunity to reset, even if you didn't call the timeout.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think that's always important to remember. So let's see what happens. We've got 11.5 minutes left on the clock.
Corey Main up for Liverpool, Hazard for Manchester.
And it is very crowded. The catch and contain working well, but unfortunately, as usual, Hazard finds a way to slip out of the pack and pick up lead for Manchester.
Manchester's blockers doing her proud by keeping Corey, well, now dragging Corey back even.
That was a lovely line there by Hazard, just making sure to get the hips out of the way.
That inside line looks suspiciously open as Hazard comes around for another pass.
So
not quite as lucky.
We have a star pass now. Hogarth taking the star and forcing the call off there.
Now that's the sort of jam progression that Manchester's going to want. Like we've held you back, we've started to put points on the board. It's less a sort of a progressive marathon race. It's more now a chase.
And like it would have seemed to me that is exactly what your bench coach would have asked you to do during that timeout. It's go out, get lead, score 4 points, and call it. Thank you.
And let's do that maybe about another dozen times and then win.
I'm telling you, I could be a bench coach. You know, I know the secret: score the points, win the game. Somebody said there's more to it, but
that's a great starting place, though.
I mean, you know, Roxy Toxin is out there versus Ruckus. It's captain on captain, and Ruckus avoids and rides out the hit and to take lead.
I really thought Minx had just managed to catch them then. It felt they were veering off into corner 4.
Managed to fight the physics, get around the corner, a lovely step over. Sees Ruckus through and claiming 4 points.
Good awareness there as Liverpool realised that a Manchester skater was leaving the box, so let's quickly catch them, get that early point as our jammer comes round.
So we've had a star pass. Minx has taken the star now for Manchester.
Liverpool still has lead and control.
Defensive jam in here. This is what happens when you let pivots put the star on. They just can't help themselves. So Liverpool jammer wisely trying to avoid that. And they have put Minx out on the side now.
That was a greatly split pack. I'm slightly surprised no sort of out-of-play penalties are called, although I do now see Liverpool's pivot has been sent to the box.
However, Minx has come off track and is sat to the side of the track, so I can only assume they've removed themselves from play. I can't tell you why. I can't see any obvious reason for it. Could be an equipment malfunction. Nobody likes to jam without their toe stops.
True. I mean, a skater will know themselves.
Yes.
We should trust in that.
Absolutely. Always sensible. Liverpool with a block of trouble here. It's a revolving door on that penalty box right now.
I can only assume they're handing out stamps like at Starbucks in that penalty box, like so many trips and we'll give you a free drink.
Number 993, Kate Rollo, who is racking up the direction of gameplay penalties. That's their favourite penalties so far. So it is a 3-on-2 situation in the pack with just Ruckus running this jam unopposed. It's not a power jam. Minx did remove themselves from play. You may be able to just see them behind the track there.
So we did go for the full 2 minutes. Just waiting for the scores to be tallied up there from our jam refs.
A lovely replay there.
Just so happy to be on skates. Like you all of the damage the Brockers have been bringing has been intense. You know.
So Liverpool have surpassed the century mark after 23 minutes. So
that was a 23-point jam as well.
Huge jams coming in. I mean, there was there was some awkward troubles and an awkward fall there.
Yeah, that would have been an impressive drop in certain circles, having got up, but it still didn't look comfortable on the knees there.
It definitely didn't, but we have Daria Dynamite out in front with lead, coming into the pack in a scoring position now. Smack Mamba, quarter of a lap behind. Everybody's setting themselves up, and look at that, taking the whip. The whips have been incredibly popular today, and I am, for one, I'm loving it. I'm for it.
I was about to say, it was great the way Ruckus put themselves in a position from the whip to sort of spy the back of the pack and awareness of the line. Like, I know I've got points here. What's happening behind me? Now I'm going to call it.
They're always watching.
Oh, yeah, but it was just great to see see it come from the player.
Right. So we are just making sure everything's okay. We're just having an official timeout. A second.
As a jam time myself, it's one of the things that's not enjoyable, having to keep the arms up there in that folded position.
Didn't you used to have to do the out and in?
That was never a thing.
That was not a thing?
No.
Why did we not?
Us veteran NSOs very much would turn our nose up at that. It is a thing that became a thing for the crowd.
I liked it.
Official documentation maintains you keep the arms like that.
Well,
you present the gun show.
I like the flapping, frankly. Mostly because I can only imagine how much your arms must ache.
Yes. I mean, I roll the shoulders, keep the blood circulating, but when a very high-level NSO from America goes, why do you do that in Europe? Because it's not in the rules. You go, I know London very heavily popularised it for a long time. The crowd go with the arms. And I think it became a thing that was assumed to be a thing. And jam timing's a lonely part of the role. You are glamorous because you get to say a word and shout, and everyone waits on bated breath what you do. So if you can steal some more of the limelight, but for a scant few seconds, you will.
I mean, why not indeed? So we see it is Hazard, and Hazard is lead. That's what Hazard does. Oh, look at that step. That was beautiful. Block all the way to the line, all the way.
Such trust on one foot. I'm just going to raise, shorten my stance, my space.
Oh, lovely. Hit it and quit it. Jam there from Manchester. Pick it up for shutting out Liverpool. Scores are 46 to 106, and we've got 6 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock.
Somewhat of an uphill climb, given points differential at the moment. But as I was jokingly saying in the previous game, that's more. I always think teams should see that more as an obstacle to get over, or something to aim for. Because the way play's been today, that seems a lot. But we could, like as we saw, the right few jams, and it's next to nothing.
It absolutely is. So we have started, honestly. They're all just having a lovely little cuddle there on the jam line. This is a maul. If those of you who've been watching the Rugby World Cup will probably be thinking, I saw this morning.
There is no ball in this game.
But coming out of the ball, they've just got a clip on at 7-6 for their Tids. But Tids does get out, gets lead.
Only just, mind. It really looked like Manchester was about to swallow them up again.
So, offence coming in from the Liverpool pivot.
Not quite working as attentionally there. Manchester was still able to maintain what was initially a 2-wall, now a 3-wall wedge. Splintering away, but as such, that gives Liverpool's jammer a chance to whittle through. I believe we've lost the pivot we had, though, for Liverpool to the box. Yes, we have.
Yep, Liverpool down the pivot. As the jammers come into the pack level, one goes inside, one goes outside.
It's great movement, like S-flow there from Roxy. Unfortunately getting caught on the outside edge by Liverpool's almost second line of defence at the front.
Oh, Tids with a huge leap there. Legs so high to get on round.
Not quite sure if Tids is about to call it off or attempt to fly with the arms out like that.
So they're running the jam here. They are 8-4 right now. Tids is going to be looking to make that 12, but coming in to tie up the scores is Roxy Toxin.
I was about to say, it was a great check by Fatality there. Unfortunately, slightly living up to their name, they earned themselves a penalty.
Just being held just at the entrance of turn 1 is Roxy Toxin. The offence being able to be shrugged off, and the recycle being forced right back almost to the jam line.
Well, with I was about to say, scant few seconds left. We ran the clock on that jam, and I believe Liverpool's pivot's back in the box again.
Indeed, but Checkerbroads 2 in the box. So it is going to be a 3-on-2 in the pack in favour of Liverpool. as we see Smack Mamba heading to the jam line. Going to face off against, I believe that's Daria.
Let's go with Corey Main. Given
Oh, we
that
could do that,
visibility,
couldn't we? That might be, but I saw the.
I know you want it to be Daria. They have been amazing.
They have.
We can't. It's not like fantasy derby. We don't pick the team.
Corey just got it leading in what, 4 seconds? So I think Corey's up there.
There's a lot of space on that track. There's a lot of space on that track. The players have got themselves unfortunately shattered and spread out.
Oh, yeah, we've got 2-2 walls right now. This is not basketball, folks. 2-on-2 is not ideal. We don't want this, so.
That derby track is quite wide. It gives a lot of space for, if a jammer can maintain like an S line, that speed is just, I've seen them, they don't drop any of it.
You might as well just be a cone at that point. They give the jammers the option to slalom their way through. They do enjoy that. That's why often when you see the recycle, and jammers quite often enjoy being recycled because it breaks up the wall, spreads out the pack, and all of a sudden they just become a beautiful line.
Yeah, that 4 wall was difficult, but you all now in a
lovely line. I will chance my arm. I'll run the gauntlet. So we have got Ruckus out for Liverpool going up against Hazard, and this time Ruckus comes up with lead. Hazard not far behind, escaping the pack.
Finally got all of Manchester out of the box. Liverpool has our blocker in there at the mo.
Standing now, though, so we may be back up to a full complement of skaters any second now. Oh, furious call off there. I was calling it.
Very lucky there with the footwork for Liverpool's jammer. If they hadn't spun themselves back out and stayed in play, they potentially could have got themselves a cut. So.
That furious call-off wasn't timed well enough as we see the Checkerbroads picking up 4 points in that jam. So we're coming in to the last minute and 45 of this period. And it's all...
Some form of timeout, I believe.
Yes,
official, yes.
Track repair. I think we're all good, though, and we're all taking our places now.
It's very surreal for me. I'm not used to this sort of a purple line. I'm too used to a black and yellow hazard tape on most of our areas.
We do love a bit of hazard tape, don't we? But I am enjoying the purpley pink track today.
I've had stacks of that in my house as an official for my league. At times I've had to sort of keep bits and pieces in rooms for the league in my garage. It's quite weird.
So now we have Daria versus Roxy Tuxin. Real tight on the start line, but somehow Daria finds the space to get those toe stops down, up the inside to claim lead.
Roxy, though, clearly showing I can skate on a completely hip-wide, parallel, and maintaining their edge there. Beautiful work between corners 3 and 4.
Daria taking an interesting line through the pack there, but just making sure that they passed all the jammers, all the blockers, and they did indeed. It was a lovely line just to cut diagonally across the pack just to ensure the hips were in front of everybody.
I believe we are running with a clean penalty box as we go into this next jam.
We do have 1 sitting on 5 right now for Manchester.
Ouch.
So that's going to be a little bit of a concern going into the second half, especially as they are skating 3 shorter than Liverpool are. So Fox versus Smack Mamba. Oh, Smack Mamba with a beautiful line, cleared up the inside. But Fox.
Yeah, Fox is out. There was a moment where Fatality was just eyeing them up. And I was just like bracing myself for the impact that we didn't get there on corner 2.
And it is the pack is speeding up. You can't have my points if you can't catch me. And they do run away from the jammers, meaning that jam does end on 0-0. First scoreless jam we've had in quite some time.
True, we've normally had where someone's cheekily grabbed some points, even if it was in the last moment.
So let's see if we get one more jam in here. I'm not sure we will we?
Oh, I think we just will with precious seconds on the period clock.
Always want one more. Oh, yes, best jam timer in the world as far as I am concerned.
So cool-headed.
So here we go. This is the final jam. We're taking up a huge hit, and that is number 22.
A surprise Metal Alchemist there, really making an impression right at the end of this first half.
Definitely. But that hasn't slowed Hazard down.
That's will be a combo from Metal Alchemist a second time now to reset Manchester's jammer.
So no points picked up in that jam either. So 2 scoreless jams to end the half here. So our scores as we finish up are in the half 56 to Manchester, 132 to Liverpool. And I'll be honest with you, the half has gone very much the way the stats of the playoffs has gone, the route in Tier 1 has gone so far. So join us back here in 14 minutes and we'll have another 30 minutes of excellent roller derby for you.
I'm going to be there. You going to be there?
I'll be there. Welcome back, friends, to the second half of the Tier 1 competition. Liverpool Rollerbirds taking on Manchester Checkerbroads here at the British Championships playoffs, live from Stoke-on-Trent. And we just want to tell you a little bit about the lovely officials who are taking care of us during this game. So your on-skate referees are Sarcasm, Razor, Julius Seizure, Booker DeWitt, Matt Newton, Errington, Anton Deck and Little Nipper.
Likewise, sporting all black today are your non-skating officials. We have Nuts, Ginger Snaps, Mofo Princess, Nuts, Mischief, Alpha Wolf, Stella Riffout, Judge Tread, Missing Hellcat, Critical Mash, Louise and Petit.
Thank you, a big thank you to all of our volunteers, non-skating officials and skating officials and everybody else involved in British Championships. We couldn't bring this to your living room without all of them. Real-time events here helping us provide this stream to you if you are at home in your back garden enjoying this late September sunshine with a drink in your hand, which is where I would like to be right
True.
now.
Let's instead stay here for another half an hour in this pleasantly warm sports hall.
We love a sports hall. That's why we're here and that's what we do. So just checking in on penalties at the end of the first half. A very astute observation by Maji is that number 48, which is Smack Mamba for Manchester, the only player on the Checkerbroads not to pick up a penalty so far, clean as a whistle, which is beautiful work.
Fingers crossed announcer curse doesn't kick in this second half though.
And Liverpool though have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skaters with 0 penalties, one of those being number 27 Daria Dynamite in there as well. Number 49 Fox also clean, so is Tids as well, so their jammers doing a very good job of staying clean. Roxy Toxin on the Manchester Checkerboards only picked up the 1 penalty as well, so track cut. In fact, to be fair, penalties are relatively low. There's 1 on Liverpool with 4. Checkerbroads have got 1 skater with 5, and we are underway again. We blinked and we missed it, but Ruckus starts us off the first jam of the second half with lead straight away for Liverpool. Roxy Toxin is out there and doing battle with 993 Kate Rolo.
Fatality, as always, offering up any assists that they can. They've been a great boon to Manchester's jammers to find a space.
And Roxy Toxin taking a massive whip off the back there. That was lovely work.
Literally taking on every single member of that line of Liverpool's defence there, straight down the track.
So Liverpool get themselves 8 points and they call the jam, opening up the second half in very much a similar fashion to the way they opened up the first half.
True.
Manchester are going to need to find a solution to this Liverpool problem.
Clearly at the moment it's unfortunately Liverpool's game, the way I look at it. They've got the style of play they want. Manchester have had some great moments to shine in that first half, but feels very much that Liverpool's driving the bus, as it were, in this case.
It does indeed. It's going to take something from Manchester to upset the rhythm of these Rollerbirds right now. And we look at that scrum pack, but it now starts to separate as we see Daria Dynamite using the lateral work to spread out that wall and pick up lead.
Hazard unfortunately getting reset just as they approached corner 3 there, finding a line.
Hazard seems to have much more joy when the inside is available. The outside doesn't seem to work quite so well for Hazard, but
very worried for a moment there that Hazard may have got themselves a penalty out of the way they were interacting with Metal Alchemist, but I think it was more Metal Alchemist took themselves out, shall we say, and Hazard did their best to, well, avoid that hazard, shall we say.
Absolutely. And a lovely sportsmanship, everybody just checking on everybody at the end of that jam. So we see Holly and Price just trying to occupy some space off that jam line. Lots of tactics, Liverpool trying to crowd them right in.
I've already heard a selection of our referees giving that polite reminder to us skaters to watch their wheels.
Yep.
That's about as much insight as our refs can give.
Oh, Smack Mamba with some great toe-stop skills just to skip over the top of the Liverpool blocker to get through and collect lead there. Oh.
Ooh, Fox just surviving a check from fatality there.
Yes.
Just staying in on the inside apex.
Weirdly, I think the skates actually caught on Rebel Scum skates, and that actually weirdly held them back in after the bounce off from fatality. So, you know, lovely and lucky moment there.
I think it's that confidence and reactionness that certain jammers will have, where they can trust where their feet are, even if it's like a toe stop, you know, 4 wheels, 2 front wheels, maybe even the side of 1 wheel. Like, just being able to shift your weight, confidence in one's core.
I remember learning to run on toe stops and being told that it's all right, my feet know where they're supposed to be and they'll find themselves. And you think, I remember thinking to myself, my face knows where it is too, and it's going to end up in the floor. But I tell you who's not going to end up in the floor is Tids, who is your lead jammer right now. A lovely line picked by Tids on the inside. And it is going to be a power jam now as we see Roxy Toxin pick up the second penalty of the game there. That was actually a multiplayer block picked up by Roxy Toxin there.
Yeah, not a great early start for Manchester in this second period.
Well, it does look like they haven't found the key to unlock the puzzle box that is Liverpool right now. But they've got themselves to the front of the pack.
That's good. I mean, literally, it's as daft as it is. It's literally a game of dob, chase away. Do not be near the opposing jammer.
And Tids led the Checkerbroads on a merry dance to the outside, which allowed their offense to come in and just help clear the lane ever so slightly. Offense so important this season. And, you know, when you've got 3-on-3, when teams are losing that extra blocker to the box, we're really seeing the game slowing down very often.
So Roxy now manages to get out to be able to start scoring for Manchester. I love the little duke at the end there. As I was approaching the back of the pack, Roxy was like, shim, shim, where am I going, where am I going? Really, for a second, confused, deer in the headlights for those 2 Liverpool blockers there.
Absolutely. So Manchester managed to sneak 2 points in at the end of that jam, 10 put up by the Rollerbirds. So we have played about 5 minutes of this second half, and I'll be honest with you, the story has continued very much in the vein of the first half. Liverpool very much in the driving seat right here. Just keeping the score difference down to 93, is it?
Yeah, that feels about right.
I'm very bad at maths, people at home, so I apologise if I have offended your sensibilities with my terrible math skills, but Hazard cannot possibly have offended you with that silky lead pickup right there.
Shame there.
Oh, that was huge. There was definite contact there. Obviously made legally, but it really made sure that Hazard could not land that jump.
Admittedly, cashing it in, it would make sense, given the speed Liverpool's jammer had coming round to the back of the pack in that previous jam. You don't want to risk it. Unfortunate that by not landing it, you've not managed to cash anything in.
Unfortunately not. So we've got number 105 on the line. That's Ruckus, the captain, going up against number 48, Smack Mamba. And both jammers barrel into the walls, but barreling through goes Ruckus. And Smack Mamba works that line brilliantly. 1 to beat, does so. That 1 to beat was Metal Alchemist.
Certainly been coming into their own as a front last line of defence for Liverpool.
Oh, and a huge hit by the jammer there. Just taking out the Manchester blocker.
Manchester already wisely forming some form of tripod, but with the speed picking up, it gives Liverpool a great opportunity to start to shatter and spread it out, disperse it. As you said before, stringing out the pack, giving the jammer a great line to weave through.
If you've got a speedy, nippy, jukey jammer, that's the best thing you can do is break them up and they can just pick their line and swing their way through. But look at the space left on the outside there. Need to close that line all the way down to the end because Ruckus will go through. But Ruckus has picked up a penalty there. We're just going to see what pops up for that penalty.
True, and it will unfortunately be their first.
It is
well.
their first.
So that clean sheet has unfortunately been tarnished.
Power jam in favour of the Checkerbroads, and Smack Mamba is out there to try and take advantage of a great entry into that, perfectly legal and neutralising both blockers on impact.
And Manchester wisely keeping 1 Liverpool blocker back.
Get yourself a goat.
What was nice, though, is even though K-Trix was captured at the back, they were still sort of like acting like a radar to keep the front line aware of where jammer was, what line did they appear to be taking. I mean, it's the best you can do in that situation, is do any form of support you can. If you realise, I can't break out,
you just need to be the most annoying goat that's ever existed, frankly. And you can cause a lot of disruption back there. If they're busy dealing with you, then you're creating an opportunity. And
that was a nice hop over the apex. So that line was pretty open.
That line was so open. I thought they were having a sail.
I'm a bit worried that we can't quite see it, but I think Ruckus has ended up in the audience as they took themselves off that track there.
We've got a very friendly crowd here today. They'll take very good care of Ruckus. So, Roxy Toxing is on the line, ready to do battle against Daria Dynamite.
16-point jam for Liverpool the previous pass. And it appears that now deciding to ask for a timeout.
Well, it's exhausting.
True.
Putting all these points up, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I suppose, as I joked in the first half, you've got to pace yourself, really.
They've got to pace themselves. So, but is it the timeout is being called, it looks to me, is it the Checkerbroads? It is. The Checkerbroads here having another discussion to figure out what they can do to disrupt the momentum of this Liverpool team who have dominated Tier 1 North this season. As we mentioned before, the stats are off the charts. I mean, we talked about the blockers, but I go back to the jammers. You know, they are number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for jammer points differences. So, and that order goes Ruckus, Daria Dynamite, Tids, then Fox. Number 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So, you know, they know what they're up to, and you know, their blockers are providing excellent offense, and Manchester just cannot stay together. No,
like I say, that strung outness. I mean, they're very confident individually of what they're doing, but without that cohesion, without that knowledge of, is the pack long, is the pack split, if I'm creating, like as we said, that cone weave space, like it's clear Liverpool's jammers like speed.
Yeah.
And they're unfortunately maintaining it.
And the moment that Manchester is able to lock down them in that tripod, the work is crazy, but it's just not happening. So Daria goes through unchallenged.
Admittedly, it kind of, on one degree, makes sense. It'd be wiser to shatter the larger wall of Liverpool with what you have of Manchester's blockers on track.
We do, and Manchester do only have 2 on track right now, as 2 are in the box, but the pivot for Liverpool also in there, and Liverpool losing another blocker to the box. So 2 on 2 on track right now.
Good challenge there by Fatality. Unfortunate taking themselves out when tapping, basically, Liverpool's jammer to the outside. I believe that would have put them in a position that meant that by not whizzing round, I'm going to have to call it off. So that could have been a longer jam if Fatality hadn't connected.
So 2 on 2 is how this next jam is going to open up, as we have 2 each in the box, and we now have a block up from both teams sitting on 5 penalties with still 21 minutes left of the game. So jammers of record are Fox versus Hazard. Hazard gets the lead, but Fox is out and putting the burners on.
True, I spied both of Manchester's blockers who were serving were stood, so it would only be like scant seconds before they joined that jam. It's unfortunate that it was only scant seconds long, that jam.
Beautifully timed, though, by Manchester, so they managed to clear both of their blockers who were standing in that jam, clear that box, and they've locked the pit. 2. There are 2 in the box there for Liverpool as we go into this next jam. So Manchester doing some very sensible things right now.
Clearly, it's got to be a game of tactical play now. Liverpool have the speed, they've the confidence to maintain their line, and now, great, that's exactly what Manchester wants. Smack Mamba gets lead for this jam.
You want to take advantage of the pack advantage, and Smack Mamba is able to do so. A beautiful line picked up there.
Such confusion.
Liverpool there, we're ball watching, and we don't have a ball, so that's always awkward, but taking out a blocker and driving through goes Tids to complete the initial.
Smack has unfortunately been slowed down, caught, and having to call. But some points on the board, none for Liverpool. A slower tactical play. There's only about just under 20 minutes left. Given the points difference we've got, you know.
Well, it's now back down to 98.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what? 3 power jams?
Well, yeah, true. Unfortunately, the style of power jams we'd expect would be ones we've seen from Liverpool more often now to deliver that differential. Not taken away from the play we've seen from Manchester's jammers, it's just those high-scoring jams have come from Liverpool in that earlier
and
first half.
repeatedly. Those 16-point jams are not an aberration. They are a consistent thing. As we see Corey Mame going through, picking up lead, just pushing each of those Checkerbroads blockers right out.
Now, that was a slower lead game than other jams we've seen from Liverpool. So, as you were saying, like that, without that speed, without that momentum, yes, we've seen some of their jammers manage to fight their way through, but they're literally squeezing themselves out of wedges almost.
Absolutely, it is. I think if you give them the freedom, then it is difficult. But yes, the containment is just not there from Manchester. They're getting their bodies on, but they're not able to lock down the jammer, and it's just making life tough as we see Corey Mame coming around and looking for a third scoring pass here.
Yet more assists. These jerseys, certainly, whichever manufacturers have delivered jerseys for our teams today, they are clearly not tearers. They maintain their stability.
I feel like there may be some orders going in, because some are a size or two bigger now, as we see Metal Alchemist joining back up with that Liverpool wall there, but up front, just sliding between the two blockers.
Yeah, the weight of the pack being back there with the goat that Liverpool have managed to catch with Manchester means that as much as you can slow down at the front, you've got progressively less space to string away at the front.
I have to say, I am thoroughly enjoying watching Liverpool at work. Great work by Roxy Ducks in there. It's just so much awareness.
Really thought they were going to tip. It's like, how have you not fallen? You must be like one of those weebles that doesn't fall down.
Do you know what we've not seen today very much of is the one hand down from the jammers. These jammers have been doing the matrix moves. I've not even seen the hands involved yet. I've not seen the one-handed save from a jammer yet. That's something to look out for on your jammer bingo. Maybe you caught it on another game earlier if you've been lucky enough to follow all of them.
Now, I think, yes, we have an official review from Liverpool, given the hand gestures from our jam timer.
And the flashing, let's have a look on our screen. It is a Liverpool official review indeed. So, hopefully we will be able to bring you the information you need momentarily.
So now, whilst we have this slight calm, we've got ourselves Liverpool dangerously close to their second century. But inversely, Manchester within grasping distance of their own first century. So I think to a degree, from what I understand from certain leagues, there's a nice sense of pride if you can pass that century barrier.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody wants to slap a century. That is, quite frankly, sometimes that has been the full aim of bout day for me in games I've been involved in. As long as we score 100 points, it doesn't matter that they scored 600. That is, and as long as we all had a lovely time.
Well, yeah, you always want to have a lovely time. You'd never want to come all the way we do as announcers or as officials and go, actually, it was pretty rubbish. I
like winning the raffle. The raffle makes me very happy. But let's find out what's going on with this official review, hopefully.
Now, obviously, we're at the mercy of our head ref taking the mic, if possible.
I'm going to stare at him. I'm going to use the force to will him. Oh, look, it's working.
Yellow team were looking for a cut track penalty on green jammer. The no call will stand. Yellow have lost their official review.
Through the powers of technology, we were able to broadcast the in-house mic to all of you on the stream to understand what went down, because we would have been at a real loss, because I'm not vaulting this balcony to go down there and find out myself.
I don't leave the balcony of judgment for anyone, quite frankly. But big shout out to Real Time Events for allowing us to bring that kind of technology to you here at British Championships in Stoke. Oh yeah, not just pottery.
I've taken so many pictures because it feels like we're in like the NASA command center. There's so many monitors, so much tech.
Houston, we have a problem.
Well, to a degree, the problem might be a distinct lack of gaffer tape, because there's so many cables here. I'm surprised they haven't bought out the local B&Q.
It is intimidating, I'm not going to lie. If you're a technophobe or a Luddite like myself, up here,
there are
balcony,
dials and lights and widgets and all sorts.
And there's so many buttons I want to press. I want to press all of the buttons. Like, I feel about 12.
Thankfully, they told us of only 3, and we have used 1. So we are a third of the way of having used all our buttons.
I let you sit by the buttons just because I cannot be trusted. It's the same reason why I don't sit on that seat on the plane where you have to open the door. I can't be trusted. I mean, I don't even need the leg room, but I just can't be trusted.
Well, fiddle with it, would you, in flight?
Like, there's a door there. I want to open it because I get bored. But you aren't getting bored right now, because Liverpool are putting on quite the display here at the British Championships Tier 1 playoffs. Of course, as we mentioned, we are doing a round robin. So Liverpool Rollerbirds, Manchester Checkerbroads and London Battersea Power are the 3 top teams from Tier 1. And they will be all playing each other. There's another game tomorrow morning. I believe that is Manchester versus London tomorrow morning. And then, if you would be so kind as to join me at 4:30 on BBC Sport on the red button, I will talk you through Liverpool Rollerbirds versus London Battersea Power, and that will decide the winner of Tier 1.
Just get it in there, quick little clang, put it out there.
I'm on a BBC. Tell me, Mum.
Oh, why would you not? Why would you not?
So, of course, the no call stood. Liverpool lost their review, but Ruckus makes up for that by getting lead out of the box like nobody's business.
But I say Hazard already doing their best to be in their shadow. We've got a pack movement. It is an OPR nightmare happening now as everybody's dashing away.
Run away, run away. And we are indeed. Liverpool jammer Ruckus gets the hit round. Takes literally, I think, took off the one blocker and went, that point will do me nicely. No, didn't get the point for it. Didn't get the hips round. So I was wrong. I thought it was an excellent tactic, but it didn't happen. Oh, we're having an official review.
I could already see from that earlier shot a challenge come from one of the benches of interactions we saw on what would have been, I believe, obviously corner 4, bouncing off an OPR. In general, though, I believe the procedure would be if you have something to say on challenge points, you go to a jam ref. On a challenge calls, you should go to head ref. You know, it's how the hierarchy should work. It allows other officials to stay in the room, stay focused. Obviously, I've only ever had one bad experience of a bench not understanding that hierarchy in my rather embarrassingly long 9, almost 10-year experience as an official in this sport.
Wow.
And I'm very proud of that.
Thank you for your service, sir.
I'm very proud of the sense that, like, the good sense of energy. Like, as much as you might be annoyed, frustrated of like what you perceive as maybe not the call you want, you've respected the chain of command. You go to the big boss, and that's the reason why, you know, that's the role of a head official. That's the role of a head ref. Is I have a crew within me. I respect what the crew's decision. I might need to make that coin flip decision over where we are at with things. Amount of time you'd be diffusing situations, because yes, spirits will get high. You know, it's like the caliber of play we've seen and what's on the line for these teams is, you know, no one wants to lose, really.
No.
But at the same time, it's having to accept that you may be losing and losing well. You know.
Absolutely. You know, losing fair and square is the way you want. If you're going to have to lose, that's the way you want to lose. But right now, we have an official review in progress. We will obviously be able to let you know the results of that.
Again, if the magic of the technology we provided worked earlier, so round 2 should hopefully be equally as good.
And I feel like we have a head ref with an excellent microphone voice, quite the level of gravitas. So let's stare at him again and hope that he updates everybody. Here we go.
So he's going for the mic.
Green team asked for a official review for a cut track penalty on yellow jammer. Upon review, the cut track penalty was issued and they retained their official review.
Oh, wow. Successful challenge from Manchester there.
I'll check you at Manchester. You might not have won the game, but you won the official review, and sometimes that's harder.
So whom do we now have? Do my best to remember, was it Corey Main on that previous jam? I'm not quite sure, but...
Well, I tell you what, our excellent scoreboard operators will absolutely know that. I think we're just having Liverpool just sending out a fresh lineup.
Obviously, I'd like to think, if this is the flow of this is the rattle that has shaken Liverpool's cage. You know, like, great tactical awareness from Manchester's bench, catching them out in that moment.
I mean, I admire your optimism.
I've got to be. You've got to be. The way I look at it is like...
There's 16 and a half minutes left, so, you know, there's everything to play for, but...
I'd like to think almost like changing that lineup is like you've played your hand a bit too early. You've shown possibly a moment of weakness in that because you're like, okay, let's just mix it up. We need maybe a stronger lineup because we don't have that advantage we've been enjoying.
Smack Mamba looking like a lonely jammer, but enjoying that freedom.
Almost a sprinter's stance there as they get ready to go.
Right, give
Coiled.
me a run up. We are bunched at the inside line.
Pivot line start?
Pivot line start, give Smack Mamba some run-up, as we've seen today. These jammers in this game are loving a bit of speed.
I'm partly thinking that as much as I'm excited for pivot line start, because we just do not have them now, second 5 seconds is cool. I'm worried that we're going to have a shift. Everyone's going to start skating backwards towards the jam line.
They'd never mean it. Have you seen Lily Gaskell do a pivot line start? That pivot line suddenly becomes about 4 foot back from where it actually is. That's like the hugest pivot like reset that ever. Just immense. Legs forever.
I've seen it more than enough where someone's just, because the rule doesn't come up often enough, like all of a sudden the pivot realizes and then sort of like pretty much like almost like doing some sort of yoga stretch. And I've seen one bench manager in a game shout, they're doing that pivot line thing, and all of their own skaters went, oh, wow, there's an amazingly long leg next to us. We should not be here.
I like to call it the pivot line power pose. That's what I like to call it, because it is a power move. This is my line, and I own it. Get your hips behind mine.
I've seen it once where two pivots both faced each other off. Because
Oh.
pivots can't like dominate like that, so they're both toe stop on back, and they were like testing to see
Essentially,
I can go,
whose legs are longer.
Yeah. And they were like eyes locked at each other whilst they did this.
Serious business.
It was the most serious.
Right.
Back in the room.
Well, they are loving. They're all over that pivot line in all of these timeouts. They are staying over. Smack Mamba is like, nobody wants to talk to me.
They're so on that pivot line. Wisely, the jam time has taken a small scoot step back to give them the space they require. It's getting a bit too close.
Little Archie Barge. He's kept them entertained during these timeouts, though. But here we are. I'm not entirely sure whether we're going. This feels like old school derby where they're ready for a race.
I'm waiting for a 2-whistle start as well.
As long as nobody takes a knee, we'll be fine.
Oh, wow, that's taking me back.
So we are off. It is Ruckus who. No. Yes, it is Ruckus in the box. We've got Smack Mamba obviously out there. We're on a power jam. Looking to take advantage. Oh, slaloms through here.
Ruckus having to sit on and watch as Smack Mamba gets into their stride. Liverpool lose another blocker to the box.
3-on-3, and the offense comes in.
Smack is through. Only got 2 left of Liverpool to face. Might have gone down, but they're back up again.
Stayed inbounds, it's all fine, but Ruckus shoots out of the box through the pack, and look at the turn of pace on Ruckus there.
I think only Smack's just realised now that Ruckus was there in their rear-view mirror.
But Smack Mamba handled that really well.
Living up to their namesake.
Oh, absolutely. Great awareness from Smack there, just to make sure that Liverpool didn't come through and steal any points. 3-0 in that jam. So 80 plays, 195. So that's out. Quick maths, 115, or am I right?
Yeah, seems good.
Hey, I'll tell you what. We should be more proud of that GCSE.
Oh, there's that job on countdown we can play for now. So,
Well,
you get a
yeah?
massive free marker pen, don't you?
Oh, mate. Yeah, I don't think Rachel Riley's got anything to worry about.
True.
But Manchester do need to worry, because Daria Dynamite is out there. Roxy Toxin, though, is also out there. Roxy having a little bit more success, it looks like, on that outside line.
Lambeth, they're doing their best to shatter the back end of Manchester's defence. There we go, Daria now realising that I need to get rid of the star. Does manage to make the successful pass. 2 little checks from Manchester wasn't enough to slow down Liverpool's pivot, as they are now out. Star on their head, beginning their own scoring pass.
That is Milo taking the start for Liverpool there. But Roxy goes on through for 4 points. And a big recycle fatality. Oh, and avoids the gate shut-in as well.
Wonderful. To be able to apply that level of damage and be that graceful on your wheels, the perfect combination from a blocker.
Just fatality has absolutely owned a moment of this game.
And just as we admire that, yet another check that separates up the back of the pack, which Liverpool was trying to control. They've got a front wedge now, hoping to be able to catch Roxy as she comes through.
So Broads
did not work. That net did not close. There was great trust there as a one-wheel slide on the outside edge. We've got jammer on jammer action now as they spin out of the pack.
So pack is Liverpool waiting for them just past the jam line. We are on the straight, and fatality once more. If fatality doesn't get MVP or best blocker for this game,
inversely, my personal favourite Metal Alchemist there was able to at least mitigate some of the damage fatality had awarded there. There was a drag back potentially about to happen. So
if you're at home and you've got thoughts about who your favourite skaters are, do get on Twitter and let us know. But look at Roxy, look on the 1 foot coming round. Oh, the grace, the style. Oh, it's like a Miss Congeniality contest, isn't it?
True. Desperately in close proximity to their own century, but within that jam, Liverpool have managed to get the double century. 203. No, I tell a lie. Cheeky additional points. Spoke too soon. 207 to Liverpool, 96 to Manchester.
Well, Liverpool have come out and shown how dominant they truly can be. They took this game by the scruff of the neck in the opening 3 jams and have not relinquished control for a moment since. Manchester have done everything they can. They have thrown everything at them. Hazard has been an exceptional jammer, picking up lead so very often, but Liverpool with this uncanny ability to pick up points even when they're not lead, and that has really been the difference between these 2 teams. As we see once more, Hazard picking up lead. No,
only just getting lead.
Just check the colour of the armbands. Yes, it is Checkerbroads with
Fox
lead.
doing their best to squeeze through. Now it's jammer on jammer, positional blocking down the straightaway, back into the apex.
And in the pack as well, Liverpool trying to get themselves a goat. Oh, what moves by Hazard there, just to slip on through.
Throughout all of that approach, I really thought they were just going to go and bank in a cheeky little point, maybe just to slow the game down, but
that was fantastic work by Hazard there, who just has this ability to just slither on through. Oh, but denied on that apex jump there. Crawls back inside and calls it.
But that previous pass we so loved has managed Manchester to reach their own personal goal of the century themselves. Probably can hear it on the stream, some of the reaction from the audience for that completed jam.
That is fantastic work there by the Checkerbroads, putting up 100 points. Liverpool Rollerbirds on 211, and we have 11.5 minutes left of this game.
It's wild to think how much play we've seen, but we've still got, in roller derby terms, so much time left on the clock.
11 minutes is an eon of time in roller derby, isn't it? All things could change.
You just mentioned my place of work there, so that's bad enough.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. Other providers are available.
True.
And we do recommend them.
Thankfully, with that no-pack call, understandably Liverpool relinquishing the control they had of Smack Mamba. They get out, they get lead. Manchester in control again now of track. This is probably like the sort of the thing they'll want, the sort of the... I know you've said that Liverpool don't mind not being in control, but there seems to be like a shine of confidence coming out of Manchester when they've got the lead now in the second half. And I saw you glance to see that we do have a jammer for Liverpool stood pacing.
It is Tids in the box, so it's going to be a power jam start for the Checkerbroads, and they put their captain out, Roxy Toxin.
Unfortunately, that blemishes Tibbs' own record.
It does indeed.
Cut track in that jam.
And Daria has picked up a multiplayer in this half as well. So Liverpool still, though, have three players clean as a whistle. Checkerbroads have one in on 6, so one in danger of fouling out as we head into this final 10 minutes. So, as we mentioned, Roxy Toxin on track. Tids released from the box. Oh, and a cracking little hop through the apex.
Real shame as all of that pack energy was from Liverpool, like holding Roxy back. It shifts to the outside edge. There's a sliver of a gap. Tids knows exactly what to do.
And Tids was pacing that penalty box like a caged tiger ready to be released to the wild. But unfortunately, that tiger is going straight back in its cage as a second penalty is picked up.
It was unfortunately a forearm challenge awarded for interaction on one of Manchester's...
Tigers even have forearms, huh? Honestly.
Well, I'm not going to go and find out directly from a tiger. I'd much rather just look on Wikipedia.
I'd love to see one of us give a zebra give an actual tiger a forearms penalty. But coming in, trying to clear out some of those Liverpool blockers are the Checkerbroads, but they do open up that inside line. And the bum block not effective.
We almost had a repeat of what we had from that opening pass where Manchester's jammer was sucked to the outside edge, but then they realised, wait, everyone's on the outside edge. There's no one on the inside edge. That's where I should be.
So as we see, Manchester in there offering up some offensive support. They hang back now to deal with Tids. Oh, and a huge recycler, and Kate Rollo came backwards, beaten dipping. That was beautiful.
The confidence to do that speed as well and spin round to be ready to absorb the Manchester jammer they come back on was wonderful to see.
The skills on display today clearly exemplify why this is Tier 1 on display right now.
And I've just had a spinneroonie there. I feel very happy. Haven't seen one in this game just quite yet.
That was lovely work there from Tids. So Liverpool continue to rack up the points, and in roller derby that is very much, you know, it's not just about winning, it's about winning with margin. So we do like a big points difference.
Like I say, with a lot of the stats you brought into this game, a lot of great info you provided me before we began streaming this afternoon, it was just that understanding of how like, yes, 4-4 win is great, but it's how strong Liverpool had won. Because they could have been like 4, like, you know, we won by a point.
Oh,
but it was such domination.
I mean, as
bracket.
I said, to finish Tier 1 North with a plus 677 points difference, you know, that means, no offence to some of the other teams that are out there, but some people got beat.
True.
Comprehensively by Liverpool. So
and what I'm liking is that's not like Liverpool is still like respecting Manchester as an opposition. There's no arrogance on track. They don't think they're just going to win because they have been winning. You know,
no, there's no showboating. It is just hard work out there and teamwork. I think that's the thing I've really enjoyed watching in Liverpool is they just seem so together. You know, but Hazard has been an absolute legend this afternoon, repeatedly picking up lead for Manchester. I would love to see Hazard's stats at the end of this game because they've been amazing.
That was the tiniest of gaps. That was 1 foot gap, and was the confidence to just take it.
Honestly.
And shifting your weight like that, you are so opening yourself up. Any strike and you're down.
But Hazard has this just slithers. It's like Hazard is a ribbon who just in the breeze of a blocker just wafts on by. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. But working hard and being shown the floor by Metal Alchemist. Great awareness to know that both blockers had gone down and I was able to re-enter there from Hazard.
Sometimes I wonder, though, if there's great awareness or just like, I'm going to chance it. But that's a risk you don't want to take. I mean, yes. We've got an interesting angle here on the stream.
Yes.
And it was clear Metal Alchemist had gone, but that other blocker was really dangerous. I was waiting for the arms to be raised as they won that call.
When it works, you're a genius, and it's track awareness. And when it doesn't work, wow, you were just chancing your arm, weren't you? I mean, so you're covered either way. Yeah.
It's a coin flip.
So our scores as we head into the last 6 minutes of this game, it's 120 on the board for the Manchester Checkerbroads, but Liverpool have been a dominant force and they have put up 223 points so far. And we are having an official review.
I thought for a second it was a timeout, but I see the holy O raised by our jam timer, repeated by our head ref. Of course, with that previous official rule being maintained, that means there's still one on the table to be used by Manchester.
You've got it, you might as well use it.
Because official review can always be used to sort of challenge what's been happening tactically on track, or occasionally, very occasionally, teams use it as an additional extended timeout.
So there isn't a jammer in the box. So, I mean, usually you're after your official review to get a jammer in the box.
And it paid off when Manchester got it in. That jam previously, where they'd trapped Liverpool's jammer there in the box, it worked really well for them. It was a really strong start for that jam. It led to that century break they managed to achieve, so that's going to give like a good sense of like energy within the team.
But let's have a little check-in on the penalties now. So I can tell you that 2 of the Liverpool Rollerbirds are now sitting on 5. That's number 22, Metal Alchemist, and Kate Rollo. But Kate Rollo has been sitting on 5 penalties for the entire second half, and I think for a good 10 minutes of the first half. So Kate Rollo flirting
great trust there from their bench to put them back on. And again, we've seen a lot of great play from Metal Alchemist as well.
Yeah.
You could always argue that, you know, some benches say like if you're earning penalties, you're playing, and then there's that weird dangerous line of like you're getting involved, like is it worth like just going that extra edge? That's not an area you want to get into. But
absolutely. And if we look across at the Checkerbroads, I will tell you in a second. No, actually we're just going to deliver that verdict. But so Checkerbroads have got 1963. That's Nippy Hedren, who is sitting on 6 penalties right now, and Mayday Isn't in a mayday situation just yet, 5 penalties. So here we go, let's find out.
Fortunately, it seems like we've experienced some technical difficulties, so whereas the home audience here in the arena, and likewise you at home, will just have to accept that an official review happened. And with nobody being sent to the penalty box that wasn't already there, unfortunately, it looks like it has been lost.
I mean, you were never going to go 2 for 2, let's be honest. But it is Ruckus who is out of the pack and is lead for Liverpool. Smack Mamba being recycled, and it is Kate Rolo who is there.
I love the awareness from Liverpool's pivot as they came out of the box to check where their jammer was, what assistance they might need just as they were coming around. There's such speed from Corey Main. You don't want that slowing down. You want that maintained.
Now, I have to say, Liverpool Rollerbirds, their jammers do make short work of the 27 in 5. That is for sure. 27 in 3 more like.
Yeah, gotta say. I remember when it was 25 in 5, and even then that was a struggle. So
I mean, that sounds a little more reasonable.
It's when skaters in the league start to go, oh, can you go 26 in 5? Or can you go 28 in 5? You can 30 in 5. And you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I remember the day that I watched one of my fellow league members achieve 30 laps in 5 minutes. I was dying on the floor having just completed my 27 in 5, but I did it once and I refused to do it again. But doing it again is Daria Dynamite and Roxy Toxin. They are doing it for their teams, but it is a very mixed pack. But Daria busts through the middle of that, picks up lead for Liverpool. No, picks up a forearm penalty. So.
I was about to ask if I'm in the club and Daria's going to the bar, she can get through that pack and get me the drinks, but unfortunately, not as cleanly as we'd have hoped with that forearms penalty.
Will be escorted out by the bouncer before your drinks come to you. So Roxy Toxin, I think lead is still open. So Roxy Toxin does in fact pick up lead for the Checkerbroads. Track Cup being picked up by Metal Alchemist, who is now on 6 penalties.
The technology we have to let us know this, it's a rather loud colour scheme against her now, unfortunately, with the number of penalties they've racked up in this game. We've only got just over 4 minutes left, though. Not want to jinx anybody, but, you know, there's still... I'm not going to say there's time to earn a 7th penalty. No one wants a 7th penalty.
So Manchester looking to try and just keep this differential under the 100-point mark. They are 7 points away from that. They will want to rack those up, and Roxy Toxin, leading from the front as captain, is doing their very best to do so.
This is probably the slowest we've seen Daria all day. Manchester suddenly managed to clamp Daria down.
And Liverpool had 2 in the box, then 1 exited. Now it is 3 on 3 in the pack, as we see 1977 Rebel Scum hitting 5 penalties now. So these penalties are starting to add up, but I've got to be honest, I don't think it's going to affect anything in the last 3.5 minutes of this game necessarily.
Careful. Well, announcer jinx. Let's not tempt fate.
I don't know. I feel like with a 99-point difference.
Ooh, check you. Quick math.
That was some quick maths. I was like, oh God, that's not round numbers, is it? I don't know what I've done here. I feel a little cocky. I'm not going to lie. I feel like Liverpool are taking the first win of the round robin, which will make things interesting tomorrow. And it's Hazard. You know it's Hazard because it was quick. It was up the inside and it was green.
Yes. Admittedly, Fox is out also.
And there are only 2.
Fox is, I believe, probably out.
Oh yeah, Fox.
They've got themselves to the penalty box. That gives Hazard an entire track to play around with. Unfortunately, they are now being dragged back. I believe that's Metal Alchemist. No, tell a lie. That is Elwand getting the reset on Hazard. So Hazard's effectively back to where they were, but from scant seconds ago.
But the offense coming in, providing the screen. Oh, and that was great work by number 17, Frank Intense, just to stop the bursting out of the Liverpool blocker as they realised that they've been trapped and just able to protect their jammer. Great work. So Manchester doing a great job of just clawing their way under the 100 mark. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and friends of roller derby. That is not thunder approaching us here in Stoke. That is just, it looks like to me, the Thugly Ducklings.
I was about to say, there's
a little celebration.
A wise move by several members of the audience to bring small cowbells with them as a way to celebrate, so that it doesn't interact with any of the whistles we have. It might not be clear, but the 2 tracks we have games on today are basically next to each other.
They are. They are deploying separate whistles.
True.
So those of you who are whistle aficionados may be able to spot the difference between the Fox 40 and the Fox Pearl, is what I've been informed.
I'm very grateful that none of our audience have turned up with Vueltas. That would have been. I think we'd have politely asked them just to leave at that point.
I don't think we'd have questioned many of their life choices based upon that instrument alone. So we have 1 minute 48 on the clock. The timeout comes to an end, or we get that lovely whistle to say that we are ready to resume.
That's why we have both jammers on track. I thought maybe one of them was still trapped, but managed to get out before the previous jam ended.
It is a pack advantage for Liverpool, as the Checkerbroads have 1 blocker in the box. Fatality out front there, being backed up by Price and Holly, and they are doing an incredible job. But the offense comes in as Smack Mamba goes to the box. There's a power jam now, and the Liverpool blockers immediately switch to offense, and through goes Fox.
Yes, again, that was the adjoining track with the thunderclap of it.
And a lovely bean dip from Fox, avoiding fatality, which is always advisable, frankly.
Impressive show, seeing as we only have 2 of Liverpool on track now, feeling they're very much in control of the track space, providing opportunities for Fox.
Oh, indeed, that's Frank Intense out there, just trying to make life a little bit harder for Fox, but unable to take Fox off. Holly doing battle there with number 411, that's Palmer. So Manchester all back together now, ready for the arrival of Fox, who was coming in somewhat off balance there.
I was going to say, such grace in the previous jams, but not quite so graceful with that landing there. But then again, fatality was involved in some of that interaction, so to a degree, what do you expect?
This is very, very true. Just taking the edge off there. So Fox trying to use those laterals to break up that tripod, but the offense is what really helps here. As Smack Mamba comes back around now, has completed the initial and is in a scoring place. Liverpool shut that down though.
Scant seconds left on our period clock.
But there are points picked up by Manchester. It was just the one cheeky one in there.
One's better than none.
It is indeed. And there are 8 seconds left on the period clock.
Wisely, Manchester taking a timeout, which will mean that normally, when the period clock has hit 0 before the next jam starts, game over.
That's it.
That time out, though, yes, they'll get the 30 seconds respite, but it gives us the opportunity to go into another jam.
Absolutely. And as you see, the score sitting at 137 to 242. There's only 5 points to keep this difference down to 100 points for Manchester. And I have to be honest, I would be looking to try and minimise that.
That'll be the entire reason for this play. Let's get that jam. Let's leave with the tiniest differential we can today.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Manchester have tried everything, but Liverpool have just been a cut above this afternoon.
I mean, I don't envy anyone attempting to give awards out to Liverpool skaters, because you may as well just go, well, Liverpool's jammers are best jammers, Liverpool's blockers are best blockers. Liverpool as MVP. Yeah.
I've really enjoyed Liverpool living up to what I had them as in my mind, I have to say. And based on the stats I had viewed coming into this game, it's been a real pleasure to watch.
And now Liverpool's cashing in a timeout as we ended in Manchester's, which, again, we can do as we end a timeout. We go into a 30-second lineup time.
They can do this, but, I want to go to the pub. So, just if it's not going to change the game, could we just? But I totally understand the motivation. Get every last
because it's going to be the reverse, isn't it? Liverpool are wanting to extend that differential as much as possible. So it's okay, we know what they want to do, but we need to make sure we do what we want to do.
Maybe we should just put up one of them 20-point jams that we did earlier and really
because it's not impossible, because if you've done it once, you can do it twice.
Nothing is impossible, as proven by what these skaters achieve on their skates every time they go out there, frankly.
I've oohed and gasped, I think, so much today because of what I'm seeing on track.
I live in awe of skaters. That's why I do this job, because I love this sport. I love getting to watch this, and both Manchester and Liverpool have been an afternoon delight.
We do find ourselves with just the one jammer.
One in the box, and that one in the box is Daria Dynamite. Roxy Tuxin, the captain, takes us into the final jam. The period clock runs dead. Oh, Kate Rolo, look at the size of that recycle. Size isn't everything, but that one mattered.
We've basically just restarted the jam.
Get back behind that jam line, you. So, and they are locking it down now, making life as difficult as possible for Roxy Tuxin.
Because obviously if Liverpool's jammer can get on the track and get a lead, they just call it and they win.
Absolutely.
Then we can indeed just all go home.
We can just go straight to the glebe. So, Roxy Tuxin just trying to avoid everybody. Has picked up a penalty. So, Fox comes out of the box, gets lead, has a power jam. Minute 16 left on the clock. So, Liverpool really can now with just two blockers.
Ooh. I saw it was a great sort of setup. All of Liverpool's blockers captured fatality on the end. Only 2 in the inside. It was a real shame that apex jump wasn't landed. That would have been
well, it was landed, but couldn't stay up and fell straight to the infield. Yeah, there was
only
no
a 2.5
sticking.
from the Russian judges, unfortunately.
You've got to put your arms up. It doesn't get. Oh, look at that lovely duking through there. But Kate Rolo picks up a 7th penalty, and Kate Rolo.
What did I say? What did I say?
Perfectly timed fouling out situation. So Roxy Tuxin now has given everything to this game.
Now that out of play for Liverpool meant that Roxy could actually get out and begin a scoring pass herself.
22 seconds left of the jam clock.
Unfortunately, we seem to be just losing Liverpool players to the penalty box.
Holly also going to the penalty box from
just the one
Checkerbroads.
The one lone Liverpool skating out, defining the pack.
That is number 411. That is Palmer. Oh, and Palmer gets some contact on, but is taken out by Roxy Tuxin. So,
yeah, as we said earlier, there's the catch. Fatality kept in. Here comes the leap.
Oh, and that is the game. So we are just, it's the unofficial score right now. So it's 141 to the Manchester Checkerbroads, but Liverpool Rollerbirds, if the score doesn't change in the next few moments, is 250. A hugely dominant performance by Liverpool this afternoon from their jammers, from their blockers, and Manchester, despite their brilliance, despite their ability to grab lead, they just didn't have an answer for Liverpool.
Exactly. It was always felt that it was Liverpool's game. Manchester brought their A game, but Liverpool had their A+, their S-rank game in the back pocket.
And if you enjoyed this game, please join us tomorrow morning where London will take on Manchester first thing in the morning, and then join me at 4:30 BBC Sport, Red Button,
iPlayer,
4:30 for Liverpool versus London to decide Tier 1. I've been Riggs.
I've been McGee.
We will see you tomorrow.